План такой, сейчас 3:30, через полчаса приезжает бас, мы едем все в парк, в 5 часов у нас райдерс митинг, те, кто зашел в финалы. После райдерс митинга начинается best trick, по-моему 45 минут с 5:30 до 6:15. Потом раскатка у нас будет час, а потом финал начинается в 7:30 и до 10 будут. То есть я сегодня отлично раскатаюсь на быстрике, потом еще на раскатке. По-моему, идеально. Вчера у меня не было такой возможности, а сегодня будет, потому что финалы, и я постараюсь сделать. У меня есть наметочки в голове, что сделать. Проапгрейдить там каждый второй трюк я могу проапгрейдить. Я этого не стал делать в квале, думаю, откатаю типа на флоу. Ну и вот все получилось. План сработал, самое главное. Вот, все, давайте увидимся на арене, на финалах. Все, мы идем на площадку. По состоянию смотрю на всех чуваков, все такие помятые уже, уставшие. И, ну а что ты хотел? Последний день симпла, все тусуются, катаются. Лиза, привет! Вот помнишь, ты мне давала эти штучки в Москве? Сейчас затестим, как это работает. Все, спасибо, Лиза. Надеюсь, это меня спасет.
So everyone will be intro from the same position on the big low in the center.
And then we can all move to our starting play.
Yeah. And then from there on, you can start.
Are you ready? I'm ready.
It's about all these handsome gentlemen just behind us. And let's introduce them, please, to the world. Starting from the left-hand side, qualified in 15th place, representing the beautiful country of the Ukraine, Max.
Daryl now sat next to me, one of the oracles of BMX. I've got to say, I made a little prediction there at the end of the pre-show, Daryl.
Approach, rather than sticking risk versus reward, going with that 45-second combination, the riders are really going to have to work with this Nate Wessel design course and utilize the entire 60 seconds out there. Judges are looking for a perfect run on the course in terms of full time beginning to end. And the reason I say the term perfect is because each one of these riders to even make it to this point at simple session, through qualifying, and to even be selected to potentially qualify, these really are the best riders.
Maxi Bespay drops in, 30 years old, out of the Ukraine. He did his full Maximus Aurelius, rubbing the dirt off the ledge there onto his hands before he dropped in.
Yeah, Maxime is very interesting. Having a little difficulty right there, but hopefully he'll get back up on the horse and work through it. Very interesting rider. Actually was living in Moscow for many, many years, but had to wind up relocating to Barcelona. His brother Igor is out there. His parents are out there as well. And they're now living in Barca. And look at that feeble grind going the distance right there. Very difficult to do. He's balancing his front wheel on that kinked rail. His back peg is locked in, and he was able to go the entire distance.
And what he's got one of those really quiet styles that belies just how hard the tricks are.
Yeah, his ability to lock in on double tire rides is unbelievable.
Oh, held on to that one.
Him and his brother both really have just set the whole new standard for double tire rides. These are round rails, round tires, and that precision is something else, especially when Bisbali is on it.
Yeah, point of contact is minute.
Street brands out there, they just picked up him and his brother. Look at that line right there, double tire ride, and actually got the nollie bar spin off. But I had a chance to talk to Bisbali, really put together a solid run on the course. He did have a couple bobbles there, but the double tire up the kink rail with the nollie off where he pressed on that front wheel shows how much the Ukrainian had bike control, and it's reflected in his score.
73.33, so a proper range finding score from the judges there. A little bit higher than I was everything. If you want to change your position, this is everything.
It's also interesting because this is one of the first times where we gave the riders, we went first through 12 and they had extra time in between as opposed to separate heats to kind of regain their composure.
Okay, Maxim Bespay, the Ukrainian, 30 years old, as you said, the tire riding specialist. Just phenomenal precision. Watch out for this boy. He can put this bike exactly where he wants it.
Right now, dropping in, being cheered on by his parents, Tatiana and Vladimir, who also had to relocate due to the world going on from Ukraine to Barcelona. His whole family and his brother is living there. Right now going backwards with the 180 grind coming up, keeping the speed and the momentum. As we mentioned, hot off the press. Feeble grind, hitting that front peg, but hot off the press, Maxime and his brother Igor both just signed on with Federal Bikes. They're one of the most core brands. As I said, I had a chance to talk to Stu Dawkins, and he couldn't be more thrilled to have Federal being represented by Maxime Bespali. Coming in right now, backwards with a quick...
Oh, just clipping the wall on the way out.
10 seconds.
And I've got to say, I really like Maxim's style because he's got, if you watch him, I think that precision comes from his head and his shoulders. They're so quiet on the bike. I said this in his first run, but he keeps himself so stable.
Oh, there we go. That's what we were talking about, the double tire ride.
Into manual.
Went the distance across the rail, tossed the bars, and then right there at the end, he actually, his weight was a little bit too far back, and he wound up looping out a little bit. So he wasn't able to keep that front end down, but let's know, as your risk versus reward, it's totally towards the riskier side. It's hard to keep your balance on that distance. I was talking to Reed Stark before the competition. He said even if this was filming on street and someone said, hey, try to do that rail 5 for 5, most riders, if not all of them, wouldn't be able to because it's so long.
Yeah, but this is simple session finals.
Well,
this is where he clips that wall. You've got to take those risks. If you're not going to take a risk now, when are you?
Yeah,
Ну что, пару слов от меня. Откатал финалы, короче, подошла к концу моя финальная попытка. На самом деле доволен, уже реально подустал. В первой попытке с кренка отбил себе вот эту мышцу, прямо седуха прям встрял. Но во второй как-то раскатался, собрался, что там, не знаю, на 15% запорол попытку, но в принципе доволен, потому что каждый мой ран был больше предыдущего, так что в принципе что расстраиваться. Чувствовал нереальную атмосферу, нереальную поддержку от всех моих хоми из Колумбии, с Южной Америки и просто со всего мира. Куча украинцев, которые поддерживали. И, ну, не только украинцев. От украинцев поддержка пиздец. Типа, там куча отметок. Я буду всем отвечать, смотреть. Спасибо всем. Я реально это чувствовал, поэтому я старался очень сильно.
Fire, who is currently sat in 15th. Felix Prangenberg with it all to do. Boyd Hilda is currently in second on a 94.66. If he can find another 0.66, then he will move into first, and that is not beyond the Australian. First place within reach for Boyd Hilda.
The Pizzy boys back home are cheering on Boyd Hilder as he starts things off. Gets that toothpick hangover with the bar spin. Also representing Odyssey. Here we go, a lot of gas. Foot jam high on the wall again in the rafters. Let's see if Boyd can keep the momentum as he feeble grinds. Smith, bar spin. Ed, this is where he could potentially get those extra points because throwing that Smith in instead of just the bar spin.
Ooh, just hung on to that one.
That is where you could potentially up the ante. So Hilder right now working it out. Bar spin to Smith, somehow keeping it together. Rubber side down with the tires almost slid out. You saw how surprised he was on his face, but let's see if he can keep it together for crucial 10 seconds.
Yeah, he's got the last slither of hope here. He's had some really good add-ons, but he's also had a little sketch. Oh!
Yes! Getting the 360 to Smith grind, foot plant off the wall with the 360. Boyd Hilder said he came here to win. He spent the last month on the road away from his girlfriend Bridget. He said, if I'm gonna come out, I gotta make it count. And I know everybody back home is so hyped that Boyd got that 360 to Smith done.
Okay, so second place. Look at Jarvis yelling over the barriers at him. Bruno Hoffman's there as well.
I'm getting messages coming in from the Odyssey family. Nuno Oliveira, Jim Bauer are so hyped that Boyd Hilder is repping with tech combos like that hangover toothpick to bar spin. But look how high in the rafters, dropping all the way down almost 10 feet into the quarter pipe. This was key for his run because he had the ability to put that Smith grind in before the bar spin. As we said, if you can stack tricks, the difficulty goes up. But watch his front tire almost sliding out, almost is the key word, because then Boyd was able to keep his speed flying off the banana with this 360, and then booyah, getting the Smith. His front wheel double dribbled a little bit, but you know, that really isn't that big of a deal. It looks more because we saw it in slow-mo right there. Unbelievable, no other riders doing that. In his first run, he wound up crashing at the end, so these could potentially be those key points you were talking about.
Okay, let's hear from Boyd. He's with Thule now.
Oh, vlogger? Vlogger? Are you vlogging? Are you vlogging too? Yeah, my boy! You're welcome. чемп. Ну что, вот и все. Выходные удались на ура, я считаю. Респект всем, кто поддерживал, респект всем, кто взял места. Это было просто мясо.
Все, можно забирать друга. Все, фу, Simple Session, вот такой был разъем, он. Сейчас Игорь придет, я расскажу вам, что было.
Ты что, чемпион?
Чемпион вернулся. Потный, вонючий. С дороги длинной, долгой.
Давай, два слова. Simple session.
Да. Охуенно.